It's your boy Numinous Made tapping back in again. Welcome to Hybrid Insights from Unique Elevations. Hope you all are blessed. Hope you all are staying healthy. Hope you all are vibrating high, not low. Welcome back. If you feel like this message resonates with you, go ahead and hit that like, share, subscribe button. And if you feel inclined to tap into future messages, go ahead and hit that bell notification. Without further ado, let's get it. Today we'll be talking about karma and how we can control and maintain it for our highest good and highest good of others. So, as most of you would already know what karma is, I would just like to give a brief introduction on what it is. According to me, karma is destiny, fate, justice as a result of cause and effect. The cause of effect could be anything in regards to our actions as individual beings. How can we control or maintain karma? That's a tough question. And I've learned that it's hard to control or maintain karma just because it's always changing. And especially when it pertains to karma, it's related to our highest good and the highest good of others. So in order to always get what I would like to call good karma, your actions and deeds have to be for your highest good while also being for the highest good of others. As you all know, we do things in life that we believe is for our highest good, but may not be for the highest good of others. Consequently, we may do actions that are good for the highest good of other people, but not for our highest good. So whenever the two are aligned, we're able to control, maintain, or mitigate karma for our highest good and the highest good of others. Now, personally, my sun sign is Virgo, and I am naturally analytical. I try to see the logic behind everything. And as I've been going through this spiritual awakening process, I've been having a hard time trying to separate or distinguish my analytical nature from what is natural from the universe. And what's natural from the universe is what I'd like to call intuition. Now, intuition, simply put, is instinct, but it's driven by three main things. It's driven by emotion, logic, and spirit. When trying to make decisions, I've learned that during this awakening process, the decisions that I'm making, I've learned how to make them from intuition and out of just logic by itself. I've realized that in order to make the right decision or to form the right relationships in life, the three have to be aligned. Emotion comes from the heart, logic comes from the mind, and spirit comes from the universe. So once all those three things are aligned and you make a decision based off those three combined, the decision made will always work out for your highest good and the highest good of others. One way I have been trying to maintain or mitigate karma in my life is by avoiding toxic relationships. Now, there's very many ways you can develop toxic relationships in one's life. But the one way I have learned to control karma is by first avoiding gossip. I learned that most of my relationships, be it romantic or friendships, casual friendships as they like to call it, a lot of people used to or still are in today's society used to talking about other people. Now, I realized that when you tend to focus on speaking about another person, especially when they're not there, especially when you are not willing to tell them what you're saying in front of their face. Because if you were to tell them in front of their face, then that's criticism, and criticism is always welcome, because without criticism you can't improve or elevate as an individual being. But in today's society, criticism has been negated and has turned to gossip, to where people will not give you criticism to your face. And the reason why they may not give you criticism to your face is because really you're not really doing anything wrong. They just have a problem with the way you do things. And instead of them putting their pride and ego aside and asking you how you do it, or asking you for help, they end up feeling some type of way and end up talking about you behind your back, about the things that you may not be doing according to how they want you to do it. So the first way they invite negative karma into their lives is by them refusing to put their pride and ego aside and seek help. Secondly is them choosing to disrespect your way of doing things, because they believe their way is better than your way. But once you acquire knowledge of self, you realize that there is no correct way of doing things. Once you acquire knowledge of self, you realize that you remove yourself from the matrix of society and believe that your actions are going to produce the best outcomes, not only for yourself but for others. And once you do that, you will be patient enough with yourself to know that results might not come immediately, and it'll take time, but with persistence and consistency, you'll be able to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, there's a famous quote that I heard from a rap song that goes, without commitment, you can never start, or without consistency, you can never finish. Now, when you don't have those two things in conjunction, it may lead people to, first of all, you end up almost isolating yourself from society, because you're doing things the way you believe you should be doing things. And deep down in yourself, you're comfortable with the way you're doing things, to where, going back to my previous video where I was talking about love or hate, is once you stop seeking external validation and you're comfortable with your own internal validation, people are threatened by that. People realize that you don't need people to move on with your life, and you don't need people's constant approval for everything that you do in your life to try and improve yourself. And once they realize that the actions that you're doing, despite looking crazy, seem to be working, they will want to form an opinion to try invalidate the validation that you give yourself, but also to try and validate the negative things that they're coming up with in order to seclude you from society. But what they don't realize is that you've already secluded yourself from society, so you don't have a problem with them throwing slander behind your name, because you're comfortable with who you are. Because deep down, I can sleep good at night because I know my actions are both for my good and the highest good of others. Stop trying to think about is whether your actions are actually serving other people, because then by us serving other people, we always assume like we have to go to other people and help them. Now, once you gain the knowledge of self, I realized that one way to help people is by helping them indirectly. Now, you being put on this earth, you are put on this earth for a purpose. We all have different purposes in life, But I've come to realize that my purpose when it comes to helping others, before I used to think that I should always try offer my opinion. But of course, we live in a time where people don't want to listen to your opinion because believe that you're doing better than them. But at the same time, you're not even thinking that you're better than them. It's they've already formed that opinion that they've put you on a pedestal ahead of themselves. That's why they don't want to hear anything from you. Secondly, is that who are you to tell me what to do with my life while you're not doing the best thing for your life? So to stop all that, I just ended up taking a vow of silence. And by taking a vow of silence is that I stopped giving my opinion. And it was now a matter of actions doing all the talking. Now, people end up talking about you behind your back because they realize that you stopped exuding your energy to try validate your actions, to try explain yourself. Like they realize that you ain't got no time to waste or energy to waste trying to tell them how to do things differently. So now they've realized that the way you are telling them or giving them advice is by you living your own life in your own way. And that triggers them more because then you're not actually invoking any conversation with them. You're invoking trigger responses to where they get so mad and annoyed from you living your life and you just focusing on yourself and for the betterment of yourself. Because once you are comfortable being yourself, once you end up loving yourself, then that's half the battle. Loving other people will become automatic, but they realize that they don't love themselves. So the easiest way to go about it is by hating someone else. By them talking behind your back, throwing slanders that may or may not be true, because I can't be the judge of that. Karma, which I like to say is justice, will be the judge of that. By them doing that constantly behind your back, they end up building this negative force field of energy to where they're always on this low vibration to where everything that could be going right in their lives keeps going wrong. And this is because they've been accumulating this energy by talking about other people behind their backs and deciding to not work on themselves or not working on their shadow side. So this accumulation keeps building. And what ends up happening is that by this building up, it reaches a point where things just begin to go wrong in these people's lives, back to back. Like it's almost like someone has done some sort of witchcraft or juju, as some may like to call it. But the fact is that nobody has done that. You've done that to yourself. You decided to stop focusing on yourself and decided to throw slander on someone else. And by you throwing slander to someone else, you are taking your own energy, which may have been used for something positive, and decided to make it negative. But what you don't realize is that this energy that you're building it up, transferring it to this person. But whoever you're transferring it to, if they're of high vibration, they can just absorb that energy and just turn it from low to high. But then for you, since you don't have high vibrations at all, you're just accumulating more lower vibrational energy. And this lower vibrational energy has nowhere to go, and it's not positive. So what the universe does is that it just keeps a record of that in hopes that you will realize your own shortcomings. But if you don't, you just end up accumulating it, and once it starts coming back to you in full effect, then there's no way of stopping it up until all the karma, all the justice has been served, just because of the cause and effect theory behind it. Now, if you decide to stop talking about other people behind their backs, you realize that now you don't have to be of this low vibrational energy, and that the energy you're putting out there is positive. So you have no reason but to receive good karma back, because it's not only for your highest good, but for the highest good of others. So gossip is just one way that you can try mitigate your own karma. There's other various ways that you can try mitigate or control your own karma that I'll talk about in the next part series. Just take whatever I've said today, think about it. You don't even have to implement it, just think about it. Is it for your highest good? Is it for the highest good of others? If not, just make sure your actions and deeds are aligned by both those sides. And once you do, you'll realize that the only karma you'll be getting in your life is all good karma. With that being said, that's it for today. Stay safe, stay blessed. La positiva.